What's going on, everybody? Sensei Lewis here. What's going on, everyone? Sensei Lewis here. Wanted to just talk to you guys briefly about an important issue in your martial arts training. And right now I'm doing a simulcast too. I'm also live on YouTube also, so you can check us out on either one if you can. All right. So I wanted to talk about the issue of making yourself a weapon. Right, making yourself a weapon, which is very important in your martial arts training. Right. You know, it's one thing to learn the techniques and the movements and everything like that, right? And I believe in one of my previous videos I talked about the importance of, you know, living that martial arts lifestyle, which entails, you know, eating right and living right as well. What's going on, Hannibal? Right? You know, eating right and just taking care of yourself, staying in shape, staying healthy, you know, because that's going to be part of your, you know, that's part of your training, but that's also part of making you a better skilled practitioner at what you do. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very important part of your martial arts training. So the other part of it is, in addition to learning the skills, right? Wa alaikum salam, brother. In addition to learning the skills, right, and the techniques, another part of it is making yourself a weapon. I'm talking about you yourself, making your physical body a weapon in your martial arts, right? Because if you don't have an actual, you know, weapon as a, you know, like a gun or stick or knife, a sword or something like that, the first weapon is you yourself, right? You yourself are the weapon, your body. So not only, you know, and definitely it's good to learn how to use other things as weapons. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to use a knife and a stick, a sword, and things like that. But the first weapon is you yourself, your body. Your body is the first weapon that you would be able to utilize. So you want to make sure that your weapon, meaning yourself, is tuned up, is sharp. So certain things you could do to make yourself a weapon is, number one, keeping fit, right? Strengthening yourself, doing certain exercises, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, lifting weights, things like that to strengthen your body physically. And then there are certain things you may have seen where you can actually strengthen your weapons, making your elbow stronger, right? You may see Muay Thai guys, or practitioners, male or female, where they like to strengthen their shins, right? They're kicking the trunk of a tree. Or you might hit it with some type of, you know, a hard material, a stick or a pipe or something like that to strengthen it. Same thing with your hand. You may see, you may see karate practitioners punching a hard surface, punching a wall, punching a tree, punching a wooden target or something like that, right? You may see Wing Chun Kung Fu practitioners. They practice with the wooden dummy, right? And they're practicing the blocks and striking and hitting and all of that. That's strengthening your arms. So you can do that either with a fellow student, right? You can do that with a fellow student. What's up, Real Art Works? You can do that with a fellow practitioner. Where you guys can, I do that with a lot of my students sometimes, where we'll practice our blocks, and we're blocking against each other's arms, striking each other's arms. Sometimes I'll have the student stand in a position, and if we have a number of students, or if it's just me myself, I'll walk around that student and I'm punching their body, kicking, making, you know, getting their body used to getting hit. Right? Get your arm strength used to blocking. Many times too, even when I was younger, when I was doing my martial arts, when I was a young kid, you know, and maybe I'm in the schoolyard during recess and I'm practicing my moves or whatever. So, you know, maybe people want to play around with you or whatever. And just from blocking, they'd be like, oh, you know, they would complain about just from me blocking. I wouldn't even have to strike. Just from me blocking them, they would complain about the pain that they felt. They say, man, your arms are hard, or you know, your arm feel like it's hard, made out of wood or made out of steel or whatever the case may be. Or when I'm practicing with students, right? I'm just practicing. I'm showing them a technique, and maybe I'll do a punch to a certain part of the body, and they're like, man, you know, Sensei, I can, you know, I feel it, even though I'm not hitting them, you know, with force, but just practicing, just showing them, just putting a little bit of striking pressure on them. They'd be like, wow, I could feel that. You know what I mean? It's like your hands feel like stone or something like that. And of course, yeah, I felt the same thing when I was training, right? When I was training, you know, and you're the one, the uki, or the one that's being used for the technique to be demonstrated on, I could feel my teacher's, the way he struck and the way his hands felt. You're like, man, you know, but that's from strengthening your weapons, whether it's your fist, the edge of your hand, you know, you can chop surfaces, right? Punching surfaces. Like I said, with the blocking, you can either practice with somebody by blocking, or you can take a stick and you can, you know, hit on the arms, hit on your legs. So this can be done yourself, or you can do it practicing with another person, right? For Hannibal, yeah, I'm still in the ATL. Right? Matter of fact, just real quick, let me take a brief moment to say that, yeah, if you're in the ATL area and you are looking to get some effective martial arts training, please look us up. You know, you can get us through our Twitter. The information is there, a link to the website. Same thing here on YouTube. We have the link to the website. You can get in contact with us if you're in the area. If you're not in the area, right, if you're out of state and you want to train, we do have online, you know, some online training videos that you can train with us with online online access, and we can still do the testing and everything. We have it set up where we can do the testing, long distance testing and things like that. If you want to invite us to come and hold a seminar, right, we're available for that. All you got to do is contact us. Like I said, you got Facebook, the Twitter, the YouTube, Instagram. So you can just contact us through one of those means, and we can set something up, you know, to come and do a seminar in your city. Or if you want to do the long distance training, you know, if you would like to train, we have the DVDs available. So, you know, we got a lot of options for you to train. Or you can come and travel. You know, if you want to travel once a month or something like that and train with us here in the ATL, we can also make arrangements for that as well. But back to the subject, that it's very important that you make yourself a weapon by those means that I've talked about, because that's very important. When you strike, you want your strikes to be hard, right? You want your strikes to do damage. You want your strikes to, you know, hurt. I guess that's the only way I could be honest with is hurt your opponent. If somebody's trying to attack you, you want to make sure that you are effective not only in your skills and your movement and your application of the techniques, but also in the weapons that you have. If I'm striking with an elbow, I want that elbow to be hard as a rock, hard as stone, right? When I'm punching, I want my fist to penetrate. I want it to hit hard and do damage. If I'm using my knife hand, or I'm chopping at the person, whatever strikes, my palm strike, my smack, you know, that's another thing too. You can also strengthen the palm of your hands by smacking on hitting surface. So that way, even if I'm using my bare or open hand smack on somebody, that smack is gonna smack fire out that person, as they say, right? It's gonna really like, wow, you know, it's gonna feel like they got hit with a brick, you know. It's gonna feel like fire on their face or whatever part of the body that I hit. So you want all those parts of your weapons to be strengthened, whether it's the fist, the edge of your hand, the palm of your hand, right? Even your fingers. You can even strengthen your fingers, right? Where you can poke people and strike with your fingers and pinpoint certain pressure points and things like that. So you want to be an all-around weapon. Your legs, same thing, right? You want the shin to be strengthened like the Muay Thai guys. They concentrate on that area. You want that to feel like a bat, right? You ever got kicked? Somebody, whether it's a Muay Thai practitioner or any other martial arts who strengthens their legs, man, that feels like you got hit with a bat in your leg or whatever the part of the body that they, that they hit. So your whole body should be your first weapon, right? Before you get strengthened up a knife or a stick or a sword or a bow or a bow staff or whatever, your body is your first weapon, right? Your body is your first weapon, and you want that to be as sharp and as hard as possible when you have to use it against an opponent, right? So you want that to definitely be in order, because that's going to be your first line of defense. It's going to be you yourself, your weapon, right? Then the knife, the sword, the hanbo, the bow staff, or whatever, those weapons come later, right? But your first weapon is you yourself. So you want your body to be your first weapon, and you want it to be as sharp and as tuned up as possible. So like I said, keeping yourself fit and in shape, right? Through exercise, strength training, push-ups, weightlifting, things like that, and then also the strengthening of the weapons. There was there's an episode, or sometimes through that show called Fight Science, right? They talked about how you can make those areas, or when trauma hits those areas of your body, it actually makes that part of the body stronger. So the skin in that area gets tougher. The bone density in that area starts to increase. From that certain parts of your body experiencing trauma, that area, your body has as a natural defense system that it builds up that area. So the skin in that area gets tougher. Maybe when you start practicing, you may notice that it's getting bruised and it's getting cut, right? The skin, the flesh starts to get cut and bruised. But over time, it starts to heal, and then that area gets tougher. So now you do it, and now it no longer is bleeding now because that area has gotten tougher, right? The bone density in that area gets stronger. So whether it's your shins, your arms, the bone density starts to get stronger as well. So that means that the bone is stronger in that area. So when I hit you with that forearm strike, or with the elbow, or my fist, or I'm chopping, or I'm kicking you, that area actually starts to get stronger, and bone density gets thicker and harder in that area, so it can take more, more punishment or damage, or you can give more punishment and more damage. So, these are important parts beyond the physical training of the techniques and the skills, and that's a very important part. And this is something that we offer our students. So if you're interested in training with us, this is something that we offer to you as well, beyond just the actual training, the techniques. Somebody has a question here, Rhododonamar. I hope I pronounced that right. It said, what would be more important to start with, hitting hard or being resistant to hits? That's a good question. I would say if you could train both of those simultaneously would be best, right? So in other words, make an effort to actually train on both. Take time out to train, because that's what I do with my students. We'll do both of that. We'll do sessions where we are training, of being resistant to hits, and we're hitting the body and, making the body stronger, right? To get used to getting hit. Of course you don't want to get hit, but it's like I said, you're going to get hit. There's no way, that you can. It's not like in the movies, where the martial art movies, where you fight with a perfect and you don't get touched. You're bound to get hit, so it's best to have your body prepared, right? To take hits and to give it. And then, so like I said, we'll do sessions where we do that, where you're training your body to get used to getting hit. And then we also take, in that same session, we'll then pause, and then we'll do some training on hitting hard. Strengthen, like I said, the hands, the edge, the palm, the shins, the elbows, the forearms, and all that stuff like that. So I would say best to try to do that simultaneously. Instead of just taking the whole time and just doing one. No, train on both, so that simultaneously you're building up yourself in both of those areas. See what I'm saying? So that's very important. So and whatever style you're in, this is important, right? Even if you don't train with us, if you're into a certain style that you do, whatever style you're in, this is something important as a martial arts practitioner, as a person who's interested in self-defense, or if you're interested in stepping into the ring and competing, right? Especially if you're going MMA, full sport contact, things like that. It's good to have, and of course with that type of training, you want to go even more so, because now your body's going to be, you're putting your body in the way of more than usual punishment, right? most people are not getting into a fight every weekend, every day, every other day, or something like that. So if you're just like most of us who, you know, we want to learn how to defend ourselves, we're not stepping into the ring, but you still want to be prepared. So, you know, a basic level of that type of training is good for yourself, because you want to be prepared should something happen, right? Most of us are just training to prepare ourselves should something happen. If somebody tries to rob us or attack us while we're out somewhere or something like that, you want to be able to handle yourself in that situation. You feel what I'm saying? You want to be able to handle yourself. What's going on, Mad Mike, right? And brother Amruk, what's going on, right? You want to be able to handle yourself in that situation. You feel me? So that's how most of us train. So now if you're going to step into the ring now you got to be prepared. Now you got to take your body, you got to put your body through it even more so, because of the fact that you're putting your body through an unusual amount of trauma and punishment that the average person doesn't go through. So now you got to you may have to train this way, you know, and that's why you look at boxers, right? Look at boxers and MMA fighters, right? Because they understand that they're putting themselves through more punishment, right? Because they got to step into the ring, they train, they take it to another level, right? Boxers training, you know, they may be training every day, right? Weekly, every day, or you know, certain throughout the week, several times throughout the week, because they get prepared for their next fight. And you see in their fight, they're boxing, they're punching, right? If you're MMA, you're punching, kicking, you're drilling your techniques, you stand up, you're ground fighting, you're grappling, you're drilling it, right? And also at the same time, you're putting your body through that punishment. You may see the guys holding up their arms or whatever, and bam, the trainer is punching the body, he's punching them. He's getting your body used to that trauma. So now, because you're going to put yourself in the way, you know, of punishment more than the average person does. So if you're going to do that, you need to do, you need to take it to that further level. But for, like I said, for most people who just want to be prepared for a situation that may happen out on the street, or while they're out, you know, at the job or at work or at leisure time or whatever the case may be, you want to at least do a basic level. And that's what we offer you. We offer you at least that basic level, right? Or a moderate level, because we want you to be prepared. We want you to be prepared to be able to make sure that your weapons are powerful, and when you're striking with your elbows and your kicks and your punches and your chops and your forearm strikes and your blocks and all that, that your body is tuned up enough to handle that. You see? So, you know, we're not going to take, we may not go as far as, like I said, like a person who's training to get in the ring. Of course, if you are interested, we can, you know, we can do that as well. But at least most people are you know, they just want to be prepared to defend themselves, you know, from the everyday common attack that may occur out on the street, somebody trying to rob you and such like that, you know. But that's something to keep in mind for those, like I said, if you are planning to take it to the next level, right? If you are planning to take it to the next level and you're thinking about stepping into the ring, then, you know, obviously you're going to have to do what I'm talking about even more. You're going to have to ratchet it up even more so, because like I said, your body is being put in the way of harm more than usual, right? When you step into the ring, you're putting yourself you're putting your body in the way of harm more than usual, right? Like I said, you know, what I'm saying is that because most people don't fight, right? Most people are not getting into a fight every weekend like a person who does it for competition. So you got to put your body, you know, your body has to get used to it even more so. But nonetheless, like I said, as a martial arts practitioner, you still want to have at least a basic level of that type of training, because that's very important, right? You want to have at least that basic level of, you know, of strengthening your tools, your weapons, to be prepared at least for what could happen out on the street. All right. Let's see. We got any more questions here? Yeah, that's a good point too. Soul Chicken says on YouTube, got to get used to getting hit. If you're not, that flinch response will degrade your ability. That's another, and that's something that we train at well. I guess I can add that to becoming a weapon. So right. So in addition to that part, right, in addition to making your body physically able to withstand some type of contact, but also able to give it, you also want to build those other areas of your body as well, which is your reflexes, right? Like, we have that flinch, right? When you're not training, everybody has that, somebody throws something, you have that kind of where you flinch and whatever. So when you constantly train, you can train yourself to be prepared for even that type of, for the surprise attack. Instead of flinching, you may train yourself to put up a natural block and then train yourself to respond, right? The average person with no training, they flinch, they cover or whatever, but then they don't, because they don't have any training in how to respond, they may flinch and then the person's on them and you get pummeled and you get beat up. Well, so what we do also is we also do a reflex drill. I do that with my students where we have a reflex drill where we'll train to be prepared for the quick surprise attack, the quick movement, and train. So you're training yourself to develop, to turn your flinch reaction into a positive response, right? So instead of flinching, I may put up my block and turn it into a movement where I can block and grab the person, right? Block and strike back. Train yourself to flinch and respond, right? Even if I throw my hand, even if the person caught me off guard, I might throw up and then respond. Instead of just throwing my hands up, I'll throw up and train, like that. And then that becomes part of your skill set, where if something happens, now you won't, instead of just flinching or whatever or covering, now it'll be that, but then you turn it into a response. You train yourself to turn those reactions into a positive response back towards the opponent or the surprise attack or whatever the case may be. So again, these are all things that can be developed through training and skill. Okay, and that's another thing that we offer as well. And again, if you're not with us, if you're with another school or whatever, another system, that's something you should train in as well, right? Learning how to respond to the surprise, turning your natural, getting caught off guard, flinch and reactions and blinking your eyes and stuff like that, learning how to turn that into a response that you can use in your defense, okay? So these are all just some aspects of turning yourself into a weapon, right? This is something that we, that's important in your skill as a martial artist, to make yourself a human weapon. You want to be your human weapon. You want to be your weapon, right? You're your first line of defense. Remember that you are your first line of defense. It's you. It's going to start with you. Like I said, before you get to the other weapons, the actual weapons that are not a part of your body, you're your first weapon. So you want to make sure that you're as fine, your weapon, you or yourself, is as finely tuned as possible. Right? Let's say, what would be more important to improve, dodging hits or being resistant to hits? Yeah, again, same thing. Yeah. Like Theophilus said, both of those are important. These are things that you don't, because you can't wait, right? You don't want to wait and be training on one thing and lacking in the other, and then something happens out on the street. So it's good to try to train these things in simultaneous training sessions, right? Training them together. In that same training session, you work a few minutes on one thing, and then in that same training session, you work on the other. But it's always good to try to bring them up, bring both of these up together. You don't want to just be doing one, and the other one is lacking, and then say, okay, now let me start working on them. No, these are things that need to be brought up, leveled up together. You need to level them up together, because there's something that you need right away. You need these type of skills right away, whether you're out on the street or stepping into the ring. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's good to try to work on these things both. And again, these are things that our system provides to our students. Okay? So does anybody have any other questions? Let's see, how often do you train your students? This is from Instagram, but by the way, for the YouTube watchers, most of the students that I train with, we will train once a week, right? Once a week. What I do though, we'll train once a week, but we do like a double session, right? So it may last an hour and a half, if we go longer, at least an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, sometimes 2 hours, but most of the time that's once a week. If students, if they want to do more, we have that option available, but most of them, we do that once a week. And I always tell people, as long as you're consistent, right? As long as you're consistent, even if it's once a week, you can still achieve, you can still achieve great skills. You know what I mean? You can still achieve great skills. As long as you stay consistent. That's the most important thing, is to stay consistent in your training. Right? Staying consistent, that's what'll make it work, even if it's just once a week. You know? When are you going to make another training DVD? Soon. Yeah, we'll be doing that soon. I'll share something with you. I just got to get some new equipment. You know what I mean? My computer, my desktop computer where I would edit my stuff went down, so I gotta get another one. I just need some new equipment. I've had some of this stuff for a few years, and I guess they've run their course, so it's time to get some new stuff, you know, together. If you guys are interested, if you'd like to help Sensei out, you could do that. For those on YouTube, in the description of this video, if you appreciate the lessons that we give and talks that we give like this, we would appreciate if you could donate to help us out. Right? We'd appreciate if you could donate to help us out. You can use the links in the description of this video for those who are on YouTube, and if those of you on Instagram, if you want to help out, same thing. Just go over to our YouTube channel, which is Shinobi Science on YouTube, and you'll see the links in the description of the video where you could make a donation. You know, if you appreciate the lessons that we give you, you can do it through there. You could also become what we call, I don't know if you guys heard of this site called Patreon. I have a page on Patreon. And what Patreon does is it allows people to support your platform, like making a monthly pledge. So I have certain levels that you could join at, and that level of your pledge will give you access to certain information, certain videos, or whatever the case may be. But it allows you to support our platform, where you can help Sensei out, you know, help me to be able to expand the platform and do other things. But yeah, right now that's really the hold up with the videos, is that I really gotta just get some new equipment. I'm using my laptop, but it's not really, you know, it's not made for videos and stuff like that, editing. It's kind of like a basic laptop. So I just need to get another desktop computer. So like I said, if you want to help Sensei out, please make a donation. If you appreciate the videos that we've been given for a number of years, if you appreciate these talks like this, where we're giving you, you know, the more knowledge about the arts and the art, by all means, you know, give a donation, help your Sensei out. You can do that through the links in the description of this video. Like I said, same thing for those on Instagram. You can just come over to YouTube, and the links will be right in the video description, and you know that would definitely help us out if you can. All right. Let's see here. What's this? All right, no doubt, Hannibal. Yeah, for sure. You know, you can contact me through the contact information is on my Instagram profile. On YouTube, we have the links to the website, and you know, the emails and all that stuff is available through there. Let's see. Appreciate that, Evan King. Appreciate that. Real works. Appreciate that, Real Artworks. Appreciate that, no doubt, no doubt. So if that's it, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, and we're gonna try to do more videos like this. And we're still gonna do, you know, technique videos. Like I said, I just got to get a better camera. I want to get a new camera too. There's this camera called Amiivo, where it allows you to broadcast simultaneously, like on Instagram, and it can be done from that one camera. Like right now, I'm using my laptop and I'm using my phone. But there's this camera, it's called Amiivo, and it allows you to broadcast simultaneously, like to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all at the same time. So I want to try to raise some money so I can get one of those cameras, and we can bring you guys more of the, you know, the content that we've been giving you, more techniques and more talks like this. So one more time, guys, if you could help Sensei out, make a donation to the links in the video, or join our Patreon page and support our platform like that. If you live in the Atlanta area, you can support us by becoming a student. Come on and join the classes. You know, become a student. That also gives us support. So, you know, and we'll continue to give you this content that we've been giving you for years. We've been on YouTube giving this information out for years, and we want to continue to do that, and we just want to expand our platform from there. All right. So one more time, guys, just remember, beyond just your physical training, It's important that you make yourself a human weapon by keeping yourself fit and in shape, eating right, right? Make sure you get proper rest, but also build up those other skills. Strengthen your hands, strengthen your the edge of your hand, strengthen the palm of your hand, strengthen your forearms, your elbows, your shin, your body. You know, you need to strengthen your body as well to be able to take hits and, you know, make it all. Become a human weapon. Make your body a human weapon, and that's a very important part of your martial arts skills beyond just the techniques. Also, what we talked about, making your body a weapon also as far as your reaction. Training yourself to redirect your flinch reaction into something that you can use. You can turn that into a positive response as well. So again, you want your body to be a full and complete weapon in addition to learning how to use a knife, a sword, a hanbo, a pipe, a staff, a bow staff, or whatever. You want your body to be your first sharpened and tuned up human weapon. All right? All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there, and I look to see you in the next video. And for my students who are watching, I look forward to seeing you at the next class. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys. Take care. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, everyone. Take care.